Hello, hello, hello to the world. Hope this video finds everybody in good spirits and happy and being blessed and healthy. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on everything that's been going on. It's been kind of busy, and I know I haven't done many videos lately. I'm going to try to do better. It's just been kind of chaotic, and so anyway, just to get into it. So about March or so, February, March, we moved Hope into the infant toddler unit, and she still had malaise in her lungs and so on. So we went in there hoping that as she healed and got older and got stronger, that she would recover and do better. Fast forward to June, we came home and they said the malaise in her lungs had come to within normal range, like 20%, I guess. And so she was, in 6 months, she went from 80% to 20%, which is a really, really awesome thing. We were very blessed by that. That Hope is very strong, and they found that she had hypothyroidism, which is something we suspected months and months ago, probably October of last year sometime, maybe sooner. We did discover that once she went to the infant toddler unit, and that was we were able to start her on medicine, which brought her thyroid to within normal range as of last week. And so that is a huge blessing. That means the medicine's working, that it's under control. No more fluid, no more ascites. They are actually talking about discontinuing her medicine. It's similar to a Lasix, but not near as aggressive and strong, because we just don't think she really needs it. She's not accumulating any kind of fluid or anything. Hope is extremely strong and doing really well. So much so that they anticipate her being off the trach and vent considerably sooner than we had originally thought. As of Thursday, which would have been yesterday, we just got the green light from pulmonology to start sprinting 3 hours twice a day. And her little cuff that they inflate in her neck, that if it's inflated with water, she can't breathe around it, and use her mouth and nose really to breathe, if that makes sense. But with that deflated, if you take all that water out, she can use her mouth and nose and get used to moving air over her vocal cords and using her diaphragm and figuring out she can make noise. And so now, as of yesterday, we keep that deflated all day, and at night we only put 1 ml of water in there, so it's virtually none. She snores all night long. It's pretty funny. But she's figuring out she can make noise, and I'm hoping to get some of that on video to show you guys, because it's pretty something cool to hear your child make noise when you haven't heard it. You haven't heard her make very little noise at all, and she's figuring out she can. And when she gets excited and when she cries, she can cry. Like, you hear her cry, which is really strange to hear your baby cry. You haven't heard her cry in 17, 18 months, and now you hear her baby cry. It's kind of weird, but it's a great sound, honestly, to hear. I know that's weird, but it's kind of cool to hear your baby cry. We're blessed in that. So we came home June 23rd or 28th, something like that. I'd have to look. I think it was the 23rd. And everything went great until about the 19th of July. And we were having a normal day like everything else, and having a good day, actually, sitting around watching TV, just kind of enjoying the calm, because things had kind of settled down and we were learning this routine and getting adjusted to all this with Hope, and it was just a lot. And Anne started having a headache, and said she just wasn't feeling too good, went and laid down. And the next day she kind of laid around all day. That afternoon, we were talking about getting something to eat, and she couldn't tell you what Subway was. Didn't have a clue what they made. No idea. So we knew something was drastically wrong. Her head was still hurting really bad, and so given the situation with COVID and everything, only one person can go to the hospital, and so I had to stay with Hope. We didn't have a nurse or anything at the time. There was nobody here, and so Aaron took Ann to the hospital that evening. They did some tests and everything, and they found that she had a pretty significant stroke, and We don't know if it was just due to postpartum, having a baby. We don't know if it was a combination of stress and diabetes and having a baby. And they say that that's, you would be surprised the amount of young women that have strokes after having C-sections. And so, especially with her heart, the only thing that really stinks about that whole deal, besides the fact that she had a stroke, is that her heart function had in a year, went from 20% ejection fraction, which was really bad, when she was pregnant with Hope, to 50% in a year. I mean, it's gotten extremely good compared to, what it was. And Ann was feeling great. And, it's so unfortunate that has happened. Ann is a fighter. She continues to push forward and stay positive, which is it's encouraging for everybody because it keeps us going, I think. It was devastating to me, I'll be honest with you. I was extremely scared and overwhelmed, consumed by fear. I'm not proud to admit that as a Christian, but I was consumed because my whole life flashed before my eyes, and I was afraid I was going to lose her, and I didn't know what life was going to be like anymore. What's my new normal? What's our new normal? And I still don't know the answer to that. But I do know that Hope is doing great, and I know that Anna's recovering and doing better, and she's pushing forward so she can help take care of Hope, and she's doing great with that. She's gotten to where she can help a lot more with Hope, and she understands, how to take care of her and all that. She has trouble reading words and stuff like that, just because it's all kind of jumbled up, the type of stroke that she had. She doesn't have any paralysis at all. She's not paralyzed or anything. Her right peripheral vision is kind of messed up. They say you heal the best in your first 6 months to a year. So, Lord willing, we continue to pray and lift her up that will continue to get better. And she's doing speech therapy, and she's doing good. She's just going to take time. And then fast forward to August 30th, Ann's dad, the absolute lifeblood of our family, the absolute backbone, one of the most amazing people I've ever known in my life, who stepped in as a role to me as my dad, and took me in as his own for 21 years of my life, was a huge impact on my life, a huge influence in my life, and a role model for everybody. I mean, he was such a good man, and he had a really bad heart, and God called him home Sunday with all of his children and his wife sitting there, and Ann and them were singing to him as he passed away, and he held on, and they were there about 15 minutes, and he went to be with the Lord. And words can't describe to you how much I'm going to miss that guy. He tormented everybody he loved. He was so much fun. He brought so much fun to everything that he showed up. I mean, he lit up a room every time he walked in. I will miss him dearly, and I know that my wife and my family, my whole family, all of my family, will miss him. Not to mention his friends and everybody that he touched, but his whole family. We had no idea the war hero that he was and what he did in Vietnam, and until after he passed, because he didn't talk about it. My wife didn't know. At 40 years old, she had no idea why he had 2 Bronze Stars and the other things that he got. We had no idea, and because he didn't talk about himself. He talked about Vietnam. He was extremely proud, but he did not talk about what he did. And once we read the Bronze Star deals, the reports, and why he got nominated and why he received those awards, wow. He wasn't just a soldier. He was a hero. He did things that were heroic, that a lot of people wouldn't have it. They couldn't do what he did, and he volunteered to do it. I'm a huge supporter of all veterans and law enforcement, and that is, I have law enforcement background, and it was a pleasure for me to serve. And I have a nephew that's serving in our military now, and I'm extremely proud of him. I love him to death. And we had his funeral today, and I'm going to tell you that I could not have been more proud to call that man Daddy. He wasn't my biological dad, but I loved him as my dad. I genuinely loved that man. And there's a huge hole in our family that will never be filled. I don't know that pain ever goes away. I think you just learn to live with it. And I know that he's in heaven, and I know that we'll see him again. And he is holding my baby Mia, and he loved her so. And I know that. So that kind of brings you up to date. Ann's doing good. Hope is doing amazing. Please pray for our family as we start this healing journey of loss. We lost a huge pillar in our family, and it wasn't expected. It wasn't something we were planning, and I mean, it wasn't something we knew was. I mean, it had just happened, and we're devastated, and we loved him dearly. So please remember us through that. God has been faithful. He renews our strength every day. We just continue to stand up and walk forward and keep our eye on Christ and not on the storm, because in the end we win as Christians, and it's okay. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to cry. I've heard it said that where there's great love, there's great pain. And I would gladly hurt all over again to have known him, so it's okay. I'm going to post some pictures of the service and try to post some recent pictures of Hope and how good she's doing. And as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. You're not going to bother me. I'm busy, but I'm never too busy. So I love you guys. I truly love each and every one of you. And the support that you guys have shown for my family has been amazing. And I want to note one other thing really quickly, because I know this is a long video and y'all get sick and tired of watching me talk and all that. I would get tired of looking at me too, but there's a huge community of people that reached out to my best friend, Eugene Matthews, who lost his whole home in a fire. And I want to thank all of you that see this video that helped him, that have reached out and took on and helped that guy and his family. These are great people. He has been a friend of mine for 12 years, and I mean, we have been close friends. He has helped me through a lot, and he's always been there for everybody. And to see people reach out and help him and be there for his family is truly amazing. So it's inspiring to see still good in the world in the days that we live in. So I truly thank you for what you did for my friend, and they still need prayer and they still need help, but they're doing a lot better. So I love all of you guys, and I pray that you guys have a blessed day.